Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, Executive Producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed, into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with ZeldaSpeaks for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, ZeldaSpeaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on higher learning with ZeldaSpeaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
Hi, my name is Julie Myrista. I'm with the American Heart Association, and we have been up to our ears in sweetened beverage tax, so I so much appreciated the 5-minute meditation today that allowed me to get back to my center, take a few deep breaths, and really focus on what's important.
Shalom and good God morning. And thank you for joining me today on blogtalkradio.com, The Female Solution. It's your Monday morning mindfulness with ZeldaSpeaks. Mindfulness stress release coach. I'm just here to make your day.
In regards to the meditation that we did after the Philanthropy Club meeting, it was great because it gave me such a feeling of relief, and the softness of Zelda's voice made me slow down and take pace at what I was doing. Kind of made me concentrate on my breathing. So it was just such an asset to have that portion of our meeting. I don't think you get that quite at every meeting. It was just such an asset. Thanks.
Of 606 Health and the Wicker Parck Chiropractic Center. If you'd like to join the conversation this morning, 515-605-9325, press 1 to speak. Dr. J.
Yes.
You were the first medical doctor that ever told me a doctor of any kind that ever told me I had inflammation. And I took that as an insult. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? Inflammation? What's that? And then you gave me some herbs to take. And it's like I could notice immediately, not only just, a difference in the way my body feels, because we all walk around in this temple that is not 100% because of the environment, the food that we eat. I mean, you were talking about earlier about how, I forgot the word that you used, but in essence, it said the food wasn't real. Yesterday, I'm making my diabetes drink that I drink every morning. That's what I call about it. Go to diabeticdonut.com, diabeticdonut.com. Apple, beet, cucumber, lemon gel, lemon, kale, ginger, and turmeric. I put that in a blender every morning, and every other morning, because I make enough for several days. Yesterday, I noticed when I looked at my lemons, they were mushy. Not just one, it was mushy, and the juice was oozing out of it. And this, I go to the grocery store just like everybody else, and it's like, this lemon is not real. When I was a kid, lemons didn't do that. So that lets me know that this lemon was manufactured in a lab. This is not real food. So that's why I ordered something where I can begin to grow vegetables in my apartment, because I don't have a yard or a balcony where I can, put dirt and have a garden. But the fact that everything that we put in our mouth, Dr. J, contributes to inflammation.
It does, yeah.
Wow.
And inflammation is the cause of majority of, I would put up in the upwards of 90% of diseases. There's a doctor, I think it was Dr. Perricone, forgive me if it's not the right one, but he did a book on the anti-inflammatory diet back in the late 90s, early 2000s. He was a skin doctor, he was a dermatologist, and he was looking for the fountain of youth, and all of his research kept circling back to inflammation that causes aging and whatnot. And so what he ended up devising was a way, he was basically the pioneer for anti-inflammatory diet. Like turmeric powder is a wonderful, centuries old too, anti-inflammatory. And that one was cool too, because that study, they were looking who had the least amount of Alzheimer's and in the world, and they found it was in India, and what they found was that yellow curry, which is turmeric powder, was at least in one meal a day in that country at least for the upper caste system and whatnot that was there. That was studied, and what you had there was that you showed that their incidence for Alzheimer's was the lowest in the world. The biggest contribution was because they had an anti-inflammatory supplement almost on a daily basis, and so it really does. Inflammation causes disease, and if you can control inflammation, we can't stop the genetic side. I mean, disease is trifactorial. It's one is genetic. One is going to be environment, and one is going to be always unknown. And if you can remove one of those segments, we have more control over our environment than we have anything. We don't have control over the unknown. And so the food that we put into our body and the supplements that we take, that's our environment. And so, we have a little bit of control there. So if we remove one of the three factors, the disease typically will go away. And so it's a good way to, inflammation really is important to address. That's the icing. That's why you heal so quickly is with the ice gets rid of swelling, and whatnot. So you got the right approach. Okay. And the fact that you take that every day, I'm very proud of you. That's good to hear. You look great, by the way.
Thank you very much. I feel good.
Oh my Lord, you look so healthy. I love it.
It's because I knew I was going to talk to you today.
I love
Let's go to the phone lines. We got some people got some questions. Area code 773-501. You are live on the Female Solution Grand Rising. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your question for Dr. J?
Hi, Erica.
773-501. Hi. Grand Rising. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what's your question?
My name is Darren Kelly.
Hi, Darylyn Kelly. Thank you so much for calling. We appreciate you.
Hi,
a question for Dr. J?
Yes, right now I'm going to the doctor for something going on wrong with my stomach. They keep saying that there's nothing there, and they keep giving me pills for it. If I don't take the pills, I'm hurting. If I do take the pills, what am I taking it for, and what can heal my stomach without me taking 5 pills every day?
Can you repeat the question?
What can I do to heal my stomach?
Your stomach. Okay.
Okay.
So what can you do to heal your stomach? Are you having stomach ailments right now?
Yes. And I was looking over my Facebook past. I was in the hospital 4 years ago with the same issue. But then when they test me and everything, they don't know what the problem is. But I'm having sharp pains in my stomach, bloating, and what have. And I'm taking Nexium, dicyclomine. And so I'm taking these pills. If I don't take them, I hurt. If I do take them, it just stops it from hurting. I want it to be healed. I don't want to take pills.
Have you had a scope on your stomach yet? Has anybody gone down with a video camera?
She said she had it last week.
I don't hear you.
She did. It came out negative?
Wait, Dr. J, he said, did you have a scope in your stomach? Have you had that?
A video camera.
Do I have?
Did you have the procedure where they put a video camera in your stomach?
Yes.
Yeah, she had that.
And it came out negative?
And then it came back negative.
She said came back negative.
Okay, good. So there's a couple factors. The reason we want to know that is because, we want to rule out the bad stuff. Upper GI is an important approach to make sure that and so if they rule out all the bad stuff and they leave you with, you have IBS, we don't know what's happening. What it ends up being, there's a couple factors to it. I'm a big fan of a product called Medigest. It's a digestive aid from Metagenics. It has a protease and HCl, which basically stimulates the stomach juices. It's very gentle. It's sometimes, I tell people you burp, you fart, you feel better. You do. And then sometimes, we got to look into the pancreas and the gallbladder too. If the gallbladder is backing up, you're going to have pain. If the pancreas is not functioning right, we need to supplement with enzymes. If you supplement with enzymes, you want the more enzymes you have in the bottle, like the names on the back of the bottle, the better the bottle, the better the blend kind of thing. If you take that for 3 or 4 days and it seems to ease up some of the discomfort, you may be just enzyme deficient because everything we eat is dead and it kills all the enzymes, right? There's another thing, we also want to look at is, sometimes there's diverticulitis and herniations in the gut. Usually that can be seen with the upper GI. So if they ruled that out, that makes it a lot easier to treat. But I'm a big fan of a product called Florastor, Florastor, Florastor. It's a German product. It's a prebiotic. It actually coats you from mouth to tail. You have to take it for 72 hours to have that happen for 3 days in a row, because whatever you eat today comes out 3 days later, basically. Mm-hmm. We move into that, I'm a big fan of fish oil too. Fish oil, Germany recommended 20 to 30 grams a day in their Commissioner E. It's where I follow, they have the best guidelines when it comes to nutraceuticals. Germany does. They handle it like a pharmaceutical system in their country. But Florastor, digestive aids, fish oil are some supplements that you want to start researching and see if that would be something that might help you. And if not, come and see me. If you're in Chicago, come on into my office, give Ryan a call. We're at 773-276-7300. And we'll get you in, and I can take a closer look at you and get you in the right direction. Make sure, and if you have any results with your gastro, your scopes, or any of the tests that you had, you bring them in with you so we can save some time for you. And I could go over that and make sure that we're not missing anything. I have a very bad stomach. What they call IBS. I get frustrated with IBS as a physician. And it's like, hey, I get that there's something wrong with your gut. I can't diagnose what it is. So I'm going to give you the diagnosis of IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, because it's a diagnosis of inconclusion. I don't know what it is, but I recognize you have something. And in some ways, in my mind, that's a physician giving up on their patient.
Go ahead.
But does that help?
I saw a commercial last night talking about IBS, and then they were saying, doing that, and I was telling my friend, oh, I need that. And then I saw where it said, you need a prescription. But that's me diagnosing myself. Because every time I go to the doctor, they take this test, they take that test. And they say, oh, there's nothing wrong with my stomach. Don't say there's nothing wrong with me.
But there's something wrong. Even though the tests are coming back negative, it's still you're still feeling something's wrong. So the key is just don't give up. Find your supplements. So, what's silly? Sometimes we find it's the simplest things. We have a favorite food that's heavy in fat, and it's a gallbladder issue. And anytime we eat fat, the gallbladder just does this, and it causes like upper left-hand quadrant pain. And then what we do is we cut back our fat intake, and we take in more good fats rather than like trans fatty acids or saturated fats. Meaning like frying oil, like McDonald's French frying oil, for example, it is designed not to be absorbed. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, most fry oils are designed not to be absorbed.
Wow.
Everybody went into that low-fat diet. We need fat in our diet. We just need good fat. That fat is not a healthy fat. So if your gallbladder gets something in the stomach, signals to the gallbladder that, I got some horrible heavy fat coming in here. I don't know what you got to do, but the gallbladder uses bile to attach to the fat to digest it. And so the gallbladder is like, well, if that much is coming in, that signal's real high, the gallbladder will literally turn itself inside out, dump in the bile, and cause it to go into spasm. The same thing happens with the pancreas. There's a pancreatic insufficiency syndrome. They're getting better at the pancreas, but it's if you eat a meal and you're low on enzymes, and the pancreas needs to kick out, lipase or protease or something along those lines, and you don't have enough of it, it's going to start causing the gland to spasm. And big suspicion of why there's such a high incidence of pancreatic cancer these days. And so enzyme supplementation is a way to minimize that risk and also see if that's where it's coming from.
Congressman John Lewis, excuse me for cutting you off. Congressman John Lewis just passed away. He had pancreatic cancer.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the gallbladder on the left or the right?
It's kind of central left.
It's to the left. So what's on the right?
Yeah. The liver.
The liver.
So the liver itself. Yeah, so if you're having right upper quadrant pain, that's definitely a little bit more indicative of liver.
I gotta come see you, Dr. J.
Yeah, the milk thistle is what I recommend for liver function.
Milk thistle.
Yeah, that stuff is good. It regenerates liver tissue, but it normalizes liver function.
Wow.
But we want to know the cause of why is it going into a dysfunction?
Right.
Is it diet, genetic, or is there a structural issue?
Yeah.
MRI will show you that though.
Okay. Also, you talked about the digestive aid. You talk about Florastor and fish oil. What was the digestive aid? Yeah,
there's a company called, I only buy from 3 companies in the United States, and it's called Metagenics is one of them. And so Metagenics sells a product called Metagest, METAGEST.
Okay.
I call it digestive aid. I live on this stuff. Oh my Lord. It helps me so much. I mean, like, I eat a meal, like food hurts my stomach. I definitely have pancreatic insufficiency, and I have a little bit of something to do with my gallbladder. So if I eat a real, like too much mayo on my sandwich, for example, I take that digestive aid, I'll burp, I'll fluff, and I'll feel a little bit better. But if we could find ways to get your body to respond to counterbalance what we're doing, we may not have to change it's really hard to change a person's diet. It's like trying to change a person sometimes.
Yeah.
So what we could do is the things that you're missing, we try to fill in the holes with. And those are some products that I always recommend that you research first before you try it. You know, just because the doctor tells you to take it, you should go check it out first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's super important, including medications. And that way you're aware of what you're getting into.
Okay. Do you offer that product in your office, Dr. J?
You know, we do. I have a hard time keeping it on the shelf. I have so many of my patients that take it. But we do have it.
The bottle for Wednesday? I'll be in Wednesday at 3:30.
I can. Yeah,
already. I'm
for
serious.
Sure. If not, I'll order you one. I'll make sure I'll have it for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Does that answer your question, Darylyn?
I hope that helps, Darylyn. I apologize about having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for calling, Darylyn. We're going to try to get it's 8:52. We've got about 6 minutes left. Try to get another call in. Area code 773-450. You're live on the Female Solution Grand Rising. What's your name and where you calling from? And what's your comment or question for Dr. J?
Hallelujah. Greetings, Global Transfer.
Mama D, Grand Rising.
Yes, and I'm one of the hosts, Wisdom with Mama D, every fourth Saturday. My question for Dr. J is, when Dr. Sabi came to Chicago after he won his lawsuit for claiming his cell food had cured patients with AIDS, so he told me that the only health issue was mucus, and depending on where the mucus was located, if you remove the mucus, you remove the problem, whatever the disease was. So he told me that he also told me that the greatest injury that indigenous native Black Americans, descendants of slaves, experienced was the removal of their diet. And so my question to you is, what do you think are those two issues? The impact of the African, the original diet of indigenous ADOs, and curing mucus, and depending on where the mucus is located, that's the problem. What do you think of those two things?
So I had a hard time hearing that. Can you clarify the question?
She asked the question was, Doctor, are you familiar with Dr. Sebi?
Not the top right now.
Okay. Dr. Sebi, S-E-B-I. Some people call him Dr. Sebi, Dr. Sebi. He died, he transcended a couple of years ago, and he was a naturalist, for lack of a better word. And he said that the only ailment that there is in our bodies is that of mucus, which causes all kinds of chaos. And her question was, what did you think about his statement? Because he sued the U.S. Supreme Court. He was, let me back that up. Let me get that right. He was called to court and went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court because he said he had a cure for cancer, and that every disease that we have in our body stems from too much mucus in the body.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense to me. At the end of the day, mucus is a response to inflammation.
Mucus is a response to inflammation,
and inflammation is one of the purest causes of disease.
Okay.
So I can see where he's coming from, for sure. There's a sign of dysfunction when there's excessive mucus. Mucus a lot of times it could be white blood cell basic. There's a lot of infection to just your body trying to lube up the tube a little too much, and then what happens if the mucus becomes too thick in your gut, you can't absorb, and then you become deficient, which then deficiencies lead to disease. It goes into that trifactorial thing. So you probably logically thinning your mucus, it's really hard to monitor that, like in the sense of being able to quantify that. So at least now, one day we probably will. You'd be surprised. I generally speaking, if I find that there's excessive mucus in a person's system, we work on thinning it out, and they will feel better.
How do you do that?
You could use Mucinex. Like with this COVID thing, people are worried about lungs and all that. Like Tylenol, Mucinex. Dayquil, NyQuil, over-the-counter stuff helps thin out mucus. But you
Is
can.
there herbs you can use?
Turmeric powder. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to thin it out too much because that mucus protects you too.
Yeah.
So so there's a fine line like anything. Too much of this and too little of that. We gotta strike that yin and yang. Want to stay in the balance of the middle of things. And so hopefully that helps a little bit. But I would say because when your body is swollen, it produces an excessive amount of mucus, especially in the gut. That could be definitely part of the problem. He may have just been a little ahead of his time.
Yeah, he was, because the world's not ready for him.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Well, thank you so much for calling in, Mama D. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Mama D.
Thank you, Mama D, who is on every fourth Saturday. You can hear her show from this past Saturday on the Female Solution. Awesome show.
I will check it out.
It is 8:57, and Dr. J, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule. Tony and I both will be in there to see you because all the stuff
I look forward to giving you
is going on in my body right now. Right now, liver and gallbladder is going on. So it's like
we'll talk about when I see you, honey. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Zelda, I want to tell you, I love you. I really appreciate what you're doing for the community and humans and life and people. And I see your love, and you have not changed. Like your love, like for your listeners, consistency is key in a person, and you are one consistent, loving person. And I love you for it, like a sister. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on, and we got to have you back on.
Anytime.
Very, very informative. What's the website, Dr. J?
It's 606health.com.
Say it again.
The best way to reach this, best site to go to is going to be mywickerparkchiro.com.
My Wicker Park Chiro,
CHIRO.
And I'll post it on my website. At My Wicker Park.
Oh, you're very kind.
mywickerparkchiro.com, 773-276-7300. Thank you, Dr. J. Be sure and join us tomorrow, 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. with Maika. Let's talk about what with Maika. If you want to reach me during the week, you can always go to my Zelda at ZeldaSpeaks.com. Check out my blog, ZeldaSpeaks.com. And you can call me at 312-409-6619. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next edition of The Female Solution. Thank you so very much.
No.
And be sure and forward and like this video and send it to someone else who could use it. And make it a great day. Bye, Dr. J.
God bless you. Have a great day. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.